I just want to give a little intro to this video quickly and say that I've been trading Bitcoin for over a year now, and when I started out, I tried to find a sort of trend line with regards to the Bitcoin price. I did a whole bunch of searching online and couldn't really find anything. So eventually I decided to download the whole price history of Bitcoin and plug it into Excel to try and find that trend line. But that proved to be extremely difficult. So eventually I used some of the things I learned in engineering and decided to do it completely manually. And with this trend line, just starting off to be curiosity and to see where, what the potential of Bitcoin's price could be, turned out to be extremely valuable with regards to trading Bitcoin as well. It gives a very good indication of spikes and sort of dips with regards to normal growth. So yeah, I mean the past year has been very good to me. I've managed to buy a car and essentially live off of Bitcoin for at least 6 months while working on my business. So when I say trading Bitcoin, I also want to note that most of that is actually was a long and hold position. But over the past couple of weeks, I have started selling off some of those positions, and I'm going to show you sort of my reasoning behind it. And also I'm hoping that this sort of trend line will help you to give you a good indication of, depending on when you bought Bitcoin, if you should sell now, or if you should just stick it out and hopefully if you have a strong stomach, wait over the next couple of years. Alright, so let's have a look, and then just want to say sorry about the quality of the footage. Literally just using my phone, and then I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots of how the trend line was created. Okay, so trying as best as possible to not sound like a lecture. Here I've downloaded a completely fresh price history from my favorite, CoinDesk, and I'm going to quickly run through how I created the trend line and just describe how it's helped me with regards to my trading, and how maybe it will help you with making some of your buy and sell decisions in the future. So the most obvious curve to take into consideration is this one over here. So I think the best points were, after creating an x-axis, is to take number 6 and take about 10.3 over there, and then plug it into the exponential equation, which if you've done any basic maths, you'll understand the process going forward. Solve for your A and your R in the equation. Eventually you've got your exponential curve equation over there. So going along the x-axis and just plugging them all into this equation, we've got our points along the graph, and as you can see, they rise quite nicely here into the future, which is quite exciting to see. I think it is, once you go to 2020, you plug in roughly 1920 over there, which is here, and you're looking at about $7,500 to $10,000, which to a lot of people's estimates, I mean, obviously that's a large number, but a lot of people reckon Bitcoin's going to reach $10,000 by the end of this year. For me, obviously, because this has helped me so much in the past, I probably don't see it happening, but only time will tell, I guess. All right, so what was the next point? Okay, so then once all the dots are plotted out, then obviously connect them up and you get your nice looking trend line here. Um, so the way this has helped me in the past is obviously as you're trading along and there's some good news and some speculation, and then suddenly the price would jump, and I'd have a look at this trend line and realize that okay, that might actually be a good selling position. And then again and again and again. And to be honest with you, when this peak happened, it was really unexpected, and I thought, well, the trend line might just be served its purpose. Um, but with that said, I think that that might not be the case because right now it couldn't be any more obvious that we've got a bubble as so many that Bitcoin has experienced in the past. Um, and in combination with this, we've got a lot of controversy, or not controversy, but a lot of debating and politics happening within the Bitcoin community. You combine those two together, I think there's a very, very strong chance that our price can drop below to our trend line over here. Who knows? It could even drop below if there is a hard fork. But like I said, I like to use this as a sort of a guideline. Um, so, what was I going to say? So yeah, I mean, essentially, if you've bought pre-bubble, then now might be a good time to sell if you're looking for money. If you happen to be one of the unfortunate last-minute rush buys at say $3,000 or something around there, then you're looking at waiting for about till about when was this? Late 2018 before I would say we ever see $3,000 again. Um, And then what's also quite exciting is, to see once you reach sort of 2019, 2020, the exponential trend line reaching, obviously going to infinity or whatever. And then also just the reason that I started this x-axis at 6 is what I find really interesting is that if you continue down the x-axis into the past, and you go say all the way down to let's say 1, you plug that into the equation, and that gives you roughly $67, which is almost bang on for this sort of period, mid to late sort of 2013. So overall, what this trend line um, actually brings to mind is with any new technology, you've obviously got the startup adoption curve. And if we have a look here quickly, on computer, with any new technology, you've obviously got your early adopters, your um, early movers, the Remind the Chasm, the early majority, late majority, and the laggards. And what that looks like on a sort of um, adoption sort of timeline is more accurately represented, let's say, over here, where you've got the early adopters over here, and as the technology begins to gain traction, you've got a sort of that exponential curve up until you hit that inflection point, and then it carries on dropping off again. So, my opinion is that we're probably sitting in between innovators and early adopters. So somewhere over here with regards to Bitcoin, maybe even earlier down the chain. And that trend line is just going to keep on going upwards like that. Um, so regardless of whether you've bought at 3,000 or 2,000 or $1,000, uh, in a couple of years' time, that could still be a very good price to get Bitcoin. Yeah, so if you found this video helpful, uh, maybe if I got a couple of likes there, then I would share a couple of other ideas that I have with regards to the bubble, and also reasons that Bitcoin will become the global sort of currency. Um, yeah, and another thing with this bubble pop is that come August 1st, you're probably going to see Bitcoin die, and you'll probably see Bitcoin die 3 months after that with the hard fork as well. And I reckon Bitcoin would die a couple of times next year as well. And that's pretty much why I'm bullish on Bitcoin, and I think you should be too. Thanks for listening. Hope you found it helpful. Yeah, sorry. Then just lastly, this actually might be the juiciest part. Um, so we said 2020 was looking at the x-axis of about 20.5, and plug it into our equation over here with our A and our R coefficient. Then would give us roughly $11,000 sometime in 2020. Then on the x-axis, we're looking at about 3 centimeters per year. So as we go further down into the page this way, um, some sort of price predictions for the future. 2021, $24,000. 2022, 53. So I hope I haven't mistyped anything there, but basically, every year going forward from 2020, you're looking at the rest of the population, I would say, really jumping onto Bitcoin. And this, I mean, you could attribute to sort of maybe the SEC and ETFs jumping on board and making investing into Bitcoin a whole lot more accessible, and just creating a sort of domino effect from 2020 onwards. So that's why I say, I'd say anybody pre 2020 buying into Bitcoin is probably you, you're probably one of the early adopters or early markets. Everybody from sort of 2021 onwards is late markets and that kind of thing. And then yeah, I mean that seems to line up pretty well with our sort of uh, trend. Yeah, thanks again. See you next time.